This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jeff Gardner.
Welcome to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have another good neighbor on, Becky McKinlay of Donuts. Becky, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I think you're our first donut shop on the podcast, which is very cool. We've had retail bakeries and things like that before, but it's first time donut shop. So I'm interested. We've never had this conversation before, but I've seen your place a few times. Let's talk about it. What is, for the audience, Donuts?
Donuts. It's a family-run business. So we started back in 2019.
Okay.
It's actually a plant-based donut shop. So if anyone doesn't know what plant-based is, it means like no animal products, so no eggs, no milk. It's just strictly from the plants, basically. Yeah.
And what made you so I don't know the ingredients of donuts. When I heard plant-based, I was thinking, okay, so that is unique, but it is unique. And now I'm thinking there's got to be eggs or cream or milk or something in normal donuts.
No.
In typical donuts there is though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you decide to go plant-based?
So I had been vegan for 8 years, as well as my younger sister was also vegan for a good chunk of time, about 7 years, I believe. So yeah, that was basically, my mom was really wanted to give us some good treats. Like we've tried different bakeries in the past, different vegan bakeries, and we felt like we could do better. Like we could be making better things and giving people an option that is great. And you can not even tell when you're comparing like a different donut to ours. Like it was something that was needed in our community. I feel like there wasn't really a whole lot of options at the time. So we really wanted to dive right into the bakery experience.
And so if we did that Coke Pepsi challenge, blind tasting, I wouldn't be able to, like if someone just said, here are two donuts here, one is plant-based, one is normal, do the test. You think?
You wouldn't be able to tell. You'd probably say our donut was better.
I love the confidence. I got to come try one now. And then, so is there any health benefits to the vegan aspect of the donut, or is it more so just for people to be, comfortable knowing that they can have a treat and be plant-based?
Yeah, I would say to have a treat. Like I wouldn't say like our stuff is necessarily healthy, but it's good to have a treat out there for the plant-based community, or even like people that can't have dairy or eggs, like dietary restrictions. We have a lot of customers that come with dietary restrictions, and they're so grateful that we exist for them.
Yeah, I love that. And interesting time to start, 2019, before the pandemic, right? So I'm just curious if we could touch on this for a moment, because we've done, I don't know, somewhere close to 400 episodes now, and we just had so many people start businesses either right before COVID or during COVID. It's unbelievable, the rush of new entrepreneurs and new businesses out there, which is great to hear. And we created this podcast to help those businesses succeed, as growing a business is difficult. But how did you guys manage the pandemic?
We actually didn't know if we were going to survive. So we started the summer before COVID. So maybe like 6 months into our business. We're a brand new business. We didn't know, like most businesses, I think, in the bakery restaurant field, don't make it 5 years. So we were like, okay, great. Like the odds are really against us. And being a plant-based bakery, it was scary. So anyways, I remember we had this conversation with my whole family. Like, what should we do? Should we close up? Like, what's going on? What should we do? So we initially did a lot of like orders on Instagram and Facebook, but that was beginning to be way too overwhelming for us. We would be working like maybe 40 to 60 hours a week. It was like not sustainable for us. So anyways, the businessman that my dad is, he figured it out. He figured out how to do an online system. He figured out Uber. He figured out Skip the Dishes. And we were really able to push that. And we actually ended up doing so much better than we thought. Like when we first opened, we grew so fast in the COVID period, which like we didn't think that could ever happen. It was just insane, the amount of time that we grew.
And so no one could come by your place. So I imagine it was all delivery or road curbside pickup.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
Amazing. And what do you think for the business owners listening out there, when we hear somebody succeeds, especially when the odds are stacked against them, we love hearing that story, but often the first obvious question that comes into their mind is, how did they do that? So especially for a retail shop, when it's not just bakeries that fail in their first 5 years, just retail is just very difficult, especially in the food industry. It's very hard to maintain sustainability and profitability. They're just tough businesses.
Yes.
All businesses are tough, but I think there's a spectrum of tough. And from what we've learned, food is on the harder side of tough. What led you to do that? Like, it couldn't just be, we have a vegan treat bakery, donut bakery. It can't just be that. There must have been some other magic to it. What did you guys do to make it to work?
So basically, I'll kind of like go through the history of like my whole family. My dad has always been like a businessman. He had told me a story about when he was like 12 years old, he would sell like floppy disks, if you know what that is, to his elementary school friends. So he had always had this like business mindset from a young age. My mom, she's always been into baking. When we were younger, we would always enter baked goods in fairs. And that was really fun for us. And we would do that together as like a fun thing to do. And then my older sister, she worked at a bakery as a manager for quite a while. And I also worked at that same bakery. And my younger sister actually worked at that same bakery. So we all had that experience. My younger sister, she went to culinary school. So she had that background. And she ended up opening her own vegan business, bakery, working out of a different business that had multiple businesses working out of the same place. And then my younger brother, he has always been good with numbers. So it was really helpful for him to be on the team as well, because he would be like the cost analysis kind of guy, like what makes sense. So for donuts, like I used to travel many hours to find some good vegan donuts. So it was really a need in our area, because I can't be traveling 2 hours to get some donuts. That's just silly. So we wanted to have something for everybody to come to that's a little bit closer.
And then how did you guys get yourself out there? I mean, like, just building a brick and mortar is the first step, but often not enough steps to really grow a business. Even having a great brick and mortar, having a great product isn't typically enough. We need to market ourselves in some way, let people know that we're out there. How did you guys do that?
So we really pushed social media. Instagram was really at the height, I think, at that time. Everybody was using it. So we
especially during COVID, a lot of social scrollers, even more so than now.
I think the first day that we had donuts in our facility, we had a big free donut sign on our road, and people would just come in and try out our free donut, and that's kind of how we marketed ourselves. We did a lot of like giveaways and really tried to make the donuts as pretty as possible to kind of get people to be posting it online and get people's attention. Like, hey, this is a brand new donut shop in town. You should check it out, sort of thing. So
did you ask anybody like, hey, we'll give you a free donut if you post this on your socials and tag us or anything, or did they just do it organically?
A lot of people did it organically. I think we have done like a lot of giveaways in the past, so that did help, but a lot of it was organic.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
you must have made a pretty product. Where are you guys located, Becky?
So we have 2 locations so far. We are at 240 Bayview Drive in Barrie. That is our main location. This is where we make everything from scratch, all the way from the dough, cutting it, putting it in the proofer, frying it. We decorate it here and put it out on our display. We also have a location in Georgian Mall, the north end of Barrie, in the food court area. So that is basically just a storefront. We will ship all of the donuts that we make here, there, every single day. And then we are also working on our 3rd location in Orillia right now.
Dang, not bad.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Do you know what sells more donuts, Georgian Mall or Bayview?
Definitely Georgian Mall. Right now, we've had the past year and a half, we've had horrible construction on Bayview, and that has hit us pretty bad. So we are so grateful to have the Georgian Mall location, because if we didn't have that, I don't know if we would have survived this construction.
Yeah, it's too bad. Something like construction, right? But Georgian Mall, tons of foot traffic.
Yes.
No marketing needed. Not millions, but thousands and thousands of people are going to be there a day. A good placement for a business. They call it the starving audience theory. So it's like after a baseball game, if everybody's hungry and you're the only hot dog vendor there, it doesn't matter if you have a good product or not, people are going to buy your stuff. So to put a donut location, especially vegan, inside the food court at Georgian Mall with super high foot traffic, very smart. So is there 5 of you total?
So we did start off with about 5 people, but we did grow up to, I think we're over 30 employees now.
30, and what is it, 5 family members?
There's 6 family members, but one of the members during the whole business, she was living in Australia, so she had a little bit of say, but she wasn't here at the store working. Okay,
so is it still all 6 of you, or mainly 5?
Mainly 5, yeah.
And all family members?
All family members.
So let's talk about that.
Sure,
You know, we have this old adage that business owners and friends is difficult, or being having a business with your romantic partner or family member can be tough. I've had both. So Sean is one of my closest friends, and that's why we built the business together, because we're so close. And I've also worked for my uncle, a family member, and that was not a good experience. That was a cautionary tale for me, to look for what not to do. So I imagine when things are great, it's family, working with family is probably fantastic. I love my family, but I imagine when things get hard, that's when maybe we can get on our nerves a bit more. So how do you find working with your family?
It has its challenges, that's for sure. Definitely starting out, it was the most difficult, because we're all learning at the same time. We're trying to figure out how to make this work. But I am so grateful to have such a strong family unit, and growing in a Christian home, like having that strong faith behind us as well, like has really helped us just be strong and continue on, and not like let little fights bother us.
That's the thing. It's those little things that happen multiple times a day that can break a relationship. It's typically not the big things. But I mean, when you have a family, a tight-knit family, You typically don't have to worry about support. You typically don't have to worry about trust. Like those things that can really burn down a partnership often don't need to be thought of with a family. Yeah. There's love bonding those people together. It's we have no boundaries. We know how to annoy each other. We know how to push every button. But I think it's fantastic that you guys do this. Now, what is your role in this? You're one of the owners. What do you do exactly, Becky?
So I'm technically a director. My parents would be considered the owners. But I started it from the beginning. Like I helped with the idea. I helped with the logo. I can show you. I helped with the logo here.
Very cool. I love it.
If you ever come into the store, you can see our wings are on our wall. So I had actually hand painted the wings on our wall.
Wow.
That was
you got an artistic background.
Yes, I'm very creative. So I actually did like the donut decorating for many years. And then now I'm more into cake decorating. Because I had a daughter a couple years ago, I kind of have to take a step back a little bit, and I can't come in as early anymore. So I only work basically part-time.
Congrats on your daughter.
Thank you.
Is Donuts getting into cakes? You said you're dressing up cakes now, so yes, they are.
Yes, we've actually been doing cakes since the beginning.
Okay.
And I was only self-taught. Like maybe my sister showed me a little bit, like one or two cakes of how to decorate a cake, but mostly I learned by watching videos.
Amazing way to learn these days.
And actually, like I think the first year and second year, I was getting awards for my cake skills, which I was so shocked by.
Locally in Barrie, like what kind of awards?
Yeah, like I think the Reader's Choice.
Yep.
I think I was like nominated a lot for that.
Very cool. Awesome, right? I mean, when you have that determination, there's such great information online. You can find what you're looking for as long as you put the effort into it. It's amazing what we can teach ourselves in this day and age.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, not only do we want people to find out about you and your business, but we also want to myth bust a little bit. Like when we have a fitness trainer online, and people have the myth in their head that as long as I eat healthy, I will lose weight or gain weight. That fitness trainer is going to say, no, that's not true. It's about calories. Even if you eat unhealthy, you can still lose weight or gain weight.
Yeah.
So we want to put out good information for people to help empower their lives in some way. So I don't know that there's many myths about the donut industry in particular. If you know of any, let's bring them up. But the vegan part of it, this is still newer, right? There's still more and more vegans happening as the days go on. Still more and more people that are looking at it as an opportunity because they have a sensitivity or some food allergy, or it's just a health conscious decision, whatever the reason is. It's becoming more and more known, but the more quality information we put out there, the better. So are there any myths or misconceptions that you can touch on, either regarding the bakery industry or the fact that all of your food is vegan?
I think with the plant-based, maybe people think, oh, like it tastes healthy, it tastes like the earth. But our donuts, you just can't even tell. They taste heavenly, honestly. Honestly, you can't taste.
That's the quote right there. They taste heavenly.
They really do. They're so good. You can't step out of this place and not say, they're really good.
Awesome. Another great tagline. What's your favorite donut there?
Oh, it's so hard to choose. Like it always changes because we're always changing the menu, coming up with different items. So I can say maybe like PB&J, that kind of flavor combination is one of the top. French toast is also really good too.
French toast. Okay, so you guys have really unique flavors as well. Like PB&J, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
And you're constantly adding and taking away. So the menu is changing regularly, and what you just keep the fan favorites and then add and take away type of thing?
Yeah, so we'll have classic donuts where we'll keep the same ones on, but we will switch up the fun, fancy flavors every 2 months.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. And who comes up with that?
For a long time, it was our family that like created different flavors. And if any employees had a good idea, they'd pitch it to us like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We've even got customers in on it too, like thinking of a flavor, and we'll pick out the best one. So yeah.
So cool to get your customers in. Like you have a raffle. Hey, if you have a great idea for a flavor, pop it in, pop it out, and hey, Jeff, we picked your flavor this month. Come.
Yeah.
Now you're not just serving the customers, but collaborating with them, making them feel like, hey, man, what do you think of my donut? That was my idea.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Really
We've
cool.
even gotten kids from schools to design a donut. It's so cute. I love when we do that. It's so fun.
To design a donut, like, so tell me, what does that look like? Because I think that's a fantastic idea.
I know teachers in the past have a little printed out sheet with a blank donut, and then they figure out, oh, what is the dip going to be? What is the top? What are the toppings going to be? How do you want it to look like? So they'll draw a picture and describe it, and we will pick out which one we think would do over well with everybody.
And then you create it.
Yep, and then we'll have it as a pop-up for the weekend.
And then do you let one of the kids know?
Oh yeah, the school knows. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you've gotten in with the schools as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done. Dang. Just having 30 employees for a bakery is amazing in 6 years.
Yeah.
2 and a bit of them were COVID.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay. Let's talk about you for a moment. I know you're amongst a team of family members, but I imagine you're the face of it to a large degree since you're on the podcast. Rapid fire, 5 things that really light you up. Like, it doesn't have to be business. It just puts a smile on your face. Becky is having a great time when doing.
Well, my whole life is revolved around my daughter right now. So she really just lights up my world. Like, I don't really have time for anything of my interest. It's mainly just her, but she just lights up my world. She's so funny. She's such a great girl. So we like to spend time outdoors. Just having a lot of fun together. I'm very creative. She's 2.
2?
Yeah.
And you have a creative side too. So let's get into that. What does that look like? I mean, you talked about painting some cakes or creating some cake designs. You painted on the mural on the wall. So obviously that artistic with paintbrush or pen. What else is in that bandwidth of your artistry?
So I've always been creative. I really enjoy the arts. We are actually right beside Innistil Secondary School, which is where I grew up, where I went to. And they are the art school. I did a lot of art there. My main skill was mainly sketching, and I really enjoyed that. For a little while there, I was into maybe becoming a tattoo artist. I don't know if you can tell, I've got tattoos.
I see a few of them.
Yeah, so that's still on the back burner in my brain. Like, maybe one day I'll do that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun being creative. I just love it. I love working with my hands.
Beautiful. So we got your daughter, which takes up a lot of your time.
Yes.
Creative side, form of expression of ourselves. I imagine it's very meditative and peaceful for you to create something just from imagination. Anything else outside of that? A couple more things. You're a big fan of travel, animals, sports, something weird like jumping out of planes. You like spiders or something?
I have jumped out of a plane before. That was an experience.
It is, isn't it?
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, bungee jumping I preferred.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know. Having somebody on my back like that when I was skydiving tandem, it was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But that first minute of free fall was so like adrenaline pumping. It was like a blur to me. Once the parachute popped and you kind of soar through the sky for the next 5-10 minutes, incredibly peaceful. But the bungee jumping, it's just you. And when I was in Australia, I got to do it over and over and over again
Oh.
and run off the roof. And yeah, so that was a little bit more, I don't know. I preferred it a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to be really into the gym. I was in a lot of, I was in good shape, I would say, at that time. After having my daughter, things are a little bit different. So I'm not
Sure.
like where I used to be, where I
Sure.
can go to the gym all the time. But that was an interest of mine. I really do like hiking and just being outdoors.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Love it. Any animals in the family?
We have had multiple different animals. We've had cats, we've had snakes, we've had a dog. Different bird.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but none at this time.
Yeah, daughter's enough, right?
Yeah.
Regarding any of the tattoos, anything that really stands out to you? I'm a big fan of tattoos. I got all my rules for life here, so they're constantly looking at me. Had a stressful moment this morning with the podcast. Things didn't go perfectly, and then it's like, who do I want to be in this moment? Am I going to let anxiety and stress take over and ruin this next potential moment? All my rules are right there. Got tattoos in other areas, but that's certainly my most meaningful one. Anyone that really pops out to you that's got sentimental value or uniqueness, or random.
One of my first ones that I ever got it's so basic, but it's breathe. But it's so important to just like, if you're ever overwhelmed, just take a second and have like calm down, breathe a little bit. So that's just like a constant reminder for me.
And it's right on your wrist.
Yeah.
Just like these, reminding you, right? Yeah. And it is one word that can have such an impact on your day-to-day, for sure. I think that's great. Okay, so we talked about some light stuff. We talked about the history of your business, the unbelievable success you guys are having. But we also like being a voice, an advocate to talk about doing hard things. Everybody that comes on here is an entrepreneur. They put their hat in the ring to do a very difficult thing without praise from the public. It's a lot of struggle in isolation. You have to sacrifice a lot to run your business, often sacrificing friends, family, pleasures, because you have this thing that you want to build that's really important to you, and you basically pour all your effort into it. And we tend to just fail forward. I mean, business to me is a slew of failures for the odd win here and there. And it's really just turning failures into learning has been the main shift for me. Not looking at not looking at a sale as the only win, but every time we have an experience, even if it doesn't go as planned, it's a way to level up. It's a way to learn a little bit. That mind shift was very big for me, because prior to that, being in the world of high ticket sales, which marketing is, and prior to this, it was in a similar type of business. You don't make a sale every day. Actually, you get no's, 9 out of 10 times. You're really just looking for that 1 or 2 customers a week or a month that you really align with, that you can provide a lot of results with. So it really is a business of hearing no constantly. So it becomes a business of the mind, right? How are you going to take all this rejection? So that was a big shift for me. But we love to ask the guests on the shows. We've all been through difficult things, and kind of that shared suffering between humans can increase the bond that we create. If we're always just talking about all the great things in life, like social media is a big, I think it can be falsified a little bit. It's like, here's my fancy car, here's my fancy spouse, here's my perfect everything, here's my perfect travel. And then we look at this person, we're like, I don't resonate with that at all. My life is not perfect all the time. There's only a small portion of people that put out, here's all the good things, here's all the bad things, and here's how I make it through both. Those are the people that I really like to follow. And we like being an advocate for that on the show, because being a human is messy. It's difficult, it's stressful, but it's incredibly rewarding. So we love to ask the guests on the show, any trials, tribulations that you've been through that probably sucked in the moment. Most hard things don't feel good when you're going through them. But when you look back at it, in hindsight, you know that it became an ingredient that made you who you are today, and you do not regret going through it. Anything you could share with us, either personal or business?
I do. So at the height of our business, I became a single mom while pregnant. And that was hard for everybody around me. I was emotional, just family members, my friends, coworkers, they all helped me get through it. Going through such a traumatic life event really gave me a different and new perspective on life, and I'm so grateful for how my life has turned out. At the moment, I wasn't really seeing like the bigger picture, but looking back, like I had to go through something hard to get to where I am now, and I have so much peace and like zero stress, zero anxiety. It's so much better than I could have ever imagined.
It really is amazing, this kind of these competing ideas, or this paradox. It's the idea of going through hell to get to heaven, type of thing. It's so easy for us to say that, but going through it is completely different thing. Like when I hire, especially a salesperson, sales is the hardest job on our team. So when I hire a salesperson, I say to them right off the bat, before you take this job, know that this is going to be very challenging.
Yeah.
And the beginning is going to be the hardest. So when you have the least skill, you have no reputation, you don't know much about the product, and it's already a business of very high rejection, you're going to get your butt kicked.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can really say to prepare somebody for that. They want the job so bad. It's a new experience, new chapter in their life, exciting. It's commissioned so they can make a lot of money. So they just give me the job. Say whatever you need to say. Let's get this over with. Give me the job. And then 2 weeks in, they call me up, many cases in tears. If you run into that person that's kind of a butthead, and they're like, wow, man, I heard you when you said it, but I didn't really hear you. This is way harder than what I thought. And we keep, sales-wise, probably 20% of them that been through. You know what the main character trait is that I look for in people now? And I have a higher level of confidence in keeping them, not if they've ever done sales before. It's how hard has their life been? Honestly, that's what I look for when we go through our interviews. It's like, okay, let's stop talking about business for a moment. Just tell me a bit about yourself. Same with these questions, like asking you that.
Yeah.
Being a single mom while pregnant, or being in a relationship and then being pregnant and then going to being single. So you were relying on somebody. Now you no longer are. You have to do everything. First, is this your first child?
Yep. And
okay.
Only.
Right. So this is a brand new experience, probably one of the hardest things for a human to do. I would argue it probably is the hardest thing. To create another human is just mind-blowing that we take that for granted, that you can actually create a human, raise it completely on you, and then having a partner to be like, okay, I'm down today. Can you pick up the slack?
Yeah.
Like, what an amount of peace that can provide, but now that's taken away.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that I would look for when hiring somebody. It's like, if they can make it through that, as long as they enjoy this work and they see the big picture, they'll make it through anything this work can throw at them, because nothing's even as close to as hard as that. But I give you a ton of credit. That is very difficult. But to hear you say what you said at the end is why we asked that question. I no longer feel as much anxiety. I no longer feel as much stress. I'm so grateful to have gone through that.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the moment,
Yes.
but now I needed to go through something hard to get to a better stage in my life.
Yeah.
I think most people understand it, but man, do we ever resist going through it. And that's why we want hundreds of episodes of people saying that, because that can change a life. Your story will be heard by somebody, and maybe that's exactly what they need to hear, because they're going through the same thing and they think they can't get through it.
Yeah. You never know. Maybe there's a reason why I'm doing this right now, to speak to just one person.
That's it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing that. And I don't have a kid, so I don't know how difficult that is, but I do have the utmost respect for parents. And a lot of this, most of it really is to be the father that I imagined in my head one day. I have a great relationship with my dad. I credit him for a lot of who I am. because I gave him a real hard time and he hung in there. And life's pretty spectacular this last 10 years, my 30s. So I want to be a mentor like that to my children one day. And it's not easy to be a good parent, so I need the reminders.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing that. Is there, now that your daughter is 2 and you did it on your own, I know you had friends and family, but you did it as a single mom. Any one tip, one piece of advice, something to put out there? There's a lot of other single moms and single fathers out there doing very hard things. Anything you would suggest to them that you've learned along the way?
I'm just so grateful that I did have so much support. My grandmother has been such a rock for me. She helps take care of her when I can't. She's actually looking after her right now. So just having support is such a good thing, like, and knowing you're not alone. There are people out there that love you and will help you.
So lean on your community.
Yeah.
Don't suffer in isolation.
Yeah. And there's so many groups that you can be a part of. I really, when I was going through a really tough time, I was at my lowest in my life. I had to seek other people, other groups. I had to be in community with people. So I reached out to a church, and I was involved with other moms, and they really helped me bring my spirits up. So
I love that. Reached out to a church. So for the people out there, because as soon as you said family, it's like, for sure, some people are going to have family, but some people aren't.
yes.
So that next piece of advice you provided is there are other people in your exact position. I do peer counseling at an addictions facility on the weekend. And that's another one of those, that's kind of the fulfillment piece of my life.
Yeah.
But that's another one of those groups, those communities, those like-minded people that come together to get sober, to live clean lives, to be productive and grow as a human being, that even if you don't have a family or a support system, there's one right down the block.
Yeah.
You just have to reach out. So I love that you did that with the church and leaned on your family. I think it's great. And I imagine the older you get, the more that period is going to be like, wow, when I look back to what has led to me enjoying my life so much, that's going to be a major piece. I really appreciate you sharing that. Okay, let's go back to the business for a second before we wrap up here. You're on stage. I like painting this picture a little bit. You got 500, 1,000, 1,500 people, whatever, customers, potential customers, ex-customers, people that are interested in hearing what you have to say. Somebody gives you the microphone for 60 seconds and they say, tell the audience what you want them to know about donuts. What do you tell them?
Our donuts honestly speak for themselves. I don't have to say anything. All you have to do is try it.
That's it. Come by, try it. Georgian Mall or Bayview. Come try it for yourself and see what's up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Last thing for you before we go. Actually, there's 2 questions. First one is, I have been very lucky to have some great mentors in my life. And at a decade of my life, a chapter of my life, a season of it, 20 to late 20s, it was chaotic. I was kind of exploring, figuring out what not to do by doing all the things I shouldn't do, and slowly working out who I wanted to be. But I had a lot of incredible guides, mentors near the end of my 20s that kind of like, hey, this is a way you could live and these are the results you could get. Would you like that? And I'm like, yeah, well, let's give it a shot. And one of the main things that she planted in my head, she's still in my life to this day, is my impact. So a lot of this is about my impact. So it's basically like I'm born, I die. What does the middle equate to? Am I a net positive on the planet? Am I a net negative? Will nobody care when I pass? Did I make a difference? Those types of things. So we love to ask the guests on the show because I think it's one of my favorite parts about having the podcast. I get the privilege to ask people what they're doing this all for. So I'd love to ask you, Becky, what would you like your impact to be? Now, before you answer, that could be 2 things. It could be however you interpret it. But a lot of people look at that as legacy after they die. My impact for me, I want to know about it now and be very cognizant of it now so I can see it. So you can answer however you'd like.
So basically, I just want to be a good human on this earth and do good. And, I want other people to feel like I treated them fairly and nicely, and that they could call me their friend. I don't necessarily feel like if I had this successful business like that, it means nothing really. Like, like being a good human is all that really matters.
Love it. Super simple, super easy. Not simple to do, but it's a simple answer. Being a good human isn't as hard as sometimes I make it out to be in my head, but it's easier to take the negative path sometimes rather than being positive, rather than treating people well when you're annoyed. But I love that's what your day-to-day goal is. Yeah. Last thing, how can people find out about you? So let's remind them of the address, any social media handles, websites. What's the best way to get a hold of you, Becky? Phone number?
So we have our website. It's mmmdonuts.ca. You can also reach us by email, info@mmmdonuts.ca. We have Instagram, mmmdonuts.ca. We are located at 240 Bayview Drive in Barrie. We have this location in Georgian Mall in the food court area in the north end of Barrie, and we will be opening a new store in Orillia.
When are you guys opening that?
Hopefully this summer. We're just working out all the kinks right now.
I love the story. Yeah. I love that it was family. You guys built it from the ground up. Now you have 30 employees. That's incredible. 2 locations, working on the 3rd, all through COVID. You get your community involved. You get the schools involved. And then your own story, I think, is fascinating, doing what you're doing with your daughter. It seems very much from my interpretation, even though we just met, that your daughter is in very good hands. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Becky. I think your story is very interesting. I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm going to have to come by and try a vegan donut because I'm pretty resistant to anything that's not omnivore. I'm an eater in a big way, but I'm open to try new things. So I'm going to have to come by and meet you guys in person. And until then, you guys have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwithjeffandsean.com. That's gnpwithjeffandsean.com or call 705-413-3775.